Okay, you guys, I'm gonna do my best to make a video out here. You can't see it because the trees are pretty still right now, but it's been windy, and my setup is not conducive to peace and quiet. So I will go as long as I can being recorded, and then if I can't, I'll just have to move it inside and just do audio only. Hopefully, I'll only be here for a few minutes. The first thing I wanted to do was read you a poem that I wrote yesterday. Okay, that's a fly. That is a fly. It's very short. It's so bad, it's like just written on a piece of scrap paper. I think I'm going to call it a primer on war. So, a primer on war. The thrust of a sword, the shade of a shield, both are tools of war. Take one away, it will shorten your day, and your breath will be no more. So I think you guys understand that. Now, that little short poem was inspired by the antics of AOC. I don't know if you heard by now, but last week, I believe it was on July. Let me see. I have notes. I actually have some notes here. July 18th, AOC voted against, I think it was an amendment to an appropriation act that Marjorie Taylor Greene had brought. And it says here, I'm reading an article by Washington Jewish Week. I didn't pick this for a specific reason. It's just something that popped up and it looked pretty factual without too many opinions. Ocasio-Cortez voted on July 18th against an amendment to the Defense Appropriations Bill that would have slashed $500 million for Israel's Iron Dome missile defense program. It says some more stuff. But what's interesting is at the end, it says in a post on X on July 19th, Ocasio-Cortez defended her vote against the amendment, writing that Greene's amendment does nothing to cut off offensive aid to Israel nor end the flow of U.S. munitions being used in Gaza, which she suggested she would oppose. So when I thought of her, you see the title, her caca, her mumbo jumbo, her doublespeak, you can call whatever you want to call it. I associated that with a scene in the movie 300. And then I wrote the poem. Do you all remember the movie 300? It was from about 20 years ago with Gerard Butler. I'm not here to give a testament to the historical accuracy, okay? I just watched the movie. It was entertaining. But when I heard her nonsense, I thought of a scene in the movie. It was, what's his name? It was of the Hunchback. I'm looking at my notes. Ephialtes. You can go on YouTube and you can look up this clip. The scene is called Ephialtes' Tragic Rejection. Yes, I think it's called that. When King Leonidas is going to go to war against the Persians, and the hunchback that went into exile because he was born deformed, comes back and he wants to fight for and with King Leonidas to support the Spartans. And King Leonidas tests him. And at that point, Ephialtes, I have to make sure I'm pronouncing his name right, in the movie, he thrusts in my poem, I said a sword, but in the movie, he thrusted a spear, because that's what they used. And, King Leonidas was like, very good, very good. And then um, he said, what about your shield? And the hunchback, no matter how hard he tried because of his deformity, he could not lift up the, the shield. And at that point, King Leonidas kindly says, hey, I can't use you. I can't use you in this war like that. Not on the battlefield. Um, because of the way we fight in war, um, you'll become the weak spot uh, to our formation. Well, if you watched the movie, if you didn't, this is a spoiler. Um, the Hunchback does not respond well to that rejection, and then later on in the movie, he betrays King Leonidas and his fellow Spartans uh, because the Persians offer him whatever he wants, which at that point, I think they offer him what he stated he wanted, which was, I think it was women, wealth, and a uniform. When I heard AOC's vote, I thought of that scene in the movie. Um, Not because I'm saying that she is the hunchback. So don't come up on here talking about, oh, you called her a hunchback. No, I was I thought of that scene after I analyzed it, and then you see that I wrote the poem was because King Leonidas was speaking about how a war is fought in very simple terms, which is offense and defense. To win a war, I believe he said his phalanx, which is the formation, a tight formation of soldiers, you must have offense and defense. You must have spear, shield, you know? I thought this was common knowledge to most people. Maybe it's not common knowledge to AOC. So when she wrote her decrepit lines on X, which I'm not on, thank God, um, you know, she was just playing with people's minds. And coming from her, because she claims to be uh, such an activist, she said she's not a proponent of deaths and war. I believe something to I'm paraphrasing to that effect. Um, I am paraphrasing. Then why would she try to tell the public, basically, that as long as she's not voting for weaponry, for an offense, then giving money for defense is an okay thing to do? If we use the conventional wisdom of King Leonidas, and even if you want to come and say it doesn't matter because that's a movie, let's use all the games that we have, all the sports. Let's use football, offense, defense. Which one would you want to be left without? And which one? The answer is none. You would want your offense and defense. And just to make sure I was correct, I asked my husband, who loves football. I waited until he got home. I said, "Hey, I have a quick question. In a football game, if you had to give one offense or defense, which one?" His face got all contorted. He just had wrinkles all up in there. And he's like, "What?" I said, "Which one would you give up, offense or defense in football?" He's like, "None," right? So even if you use that as an example and you don't use the movie, nobody in a war, if that's what you want to call it, if that's what the viewer wants to call it, we know who those viewers would be. No one wants to give up either one. So if we use either the wisdom in the movie, if we use common sense from all the games that we play and all the athleticism that we have. Um, we know that you do not want to be left with an offense left out or a defense left out. Then why would she make that suggestion to people that she claims that she was in defense of? She herself. She said that genocide is wrong. And I believe she had also, a year ago, said that she did not believe that Netanyahu should even be coming to the United States to be speaking. So now here we are, almost a full year later, and she's double speaking. If you care about people dying, clearly you do not want to give the people that are aggressors weapons, and certainly you don't want to be able to say that the aggressor should also be protecting, because then that would mean that they had, out of offense and defense, they would have a 50% chance of still committing the actions against the people that you claim to care about. And that would leave a 0% chance for the Palestinians because they don't have offense or defense as strategy. Why would she pretend as if voting against that was some sort of credit to her? And even the way she wrote it, I think she says, of course, nothing. Of course, nothing. Leaving one side of a war with a 50% chance and the other side of a war with zero. You can't talk your way out of that. There's no way you can talk your way out of that. And the fact that she even tried, it goes back to that scene with the hunchback. I want wealth. I want women, in her case, people. And I want a uniform.